Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is your review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 10, Meditation and Mediation, which there was none of. There was none of that. There was none of that. Anyway, Kelly, she's home with her daughters. She's home with the girls. You know, ebbs and flows. Her daughter is a typical teenager, you know, very critical of her grades, very critical of herself. Kelly shares that she and her oldest daughter's dad, they have a very good co-parenting relationship. She's not feeling like it's going to be the same when it comes to her and that ex-husband. Moving on, Shamia, she thought that it was befitting to go have dinner with Ralph. Ralph has summoned her to the place to talk about his podcast, because they did one podcast episode on somebody's podcast a little while ago, and so now he has an idea for a new show. It's gonna be like a couple situation. He says, what did he say? Family Feud meets Battle of the Sexes. So not really a couple situation, but Battle of the Sexes. Anyway, she also felt like, since she was going to be going to meet up with Ralph, you know what? I should call Portia. So she and Portia, they going to have dinner with Ralph. This was all very... This is late. This is late. This is petty. There's no way that you can backpedal this as if like this it was all done and, you know, oh no, I didn't know. All of y'all. All of y'all. All of y'all with the shits. Anyway, because somebody bring up Portia, and Portia walks right in and she says that this is no tit for tat. That she just came to eat. She just came here to eat. Shamia invited her to eat, so she came. Ralph says the same thing. I didn't know she was going to be here. I didn't know she was coming. He going to try to order them both a shot, and she was like, absolutely not. I'm not feeling husbands right now. Then they proceed to get all in the people business. So now we're going to ask all these personal questions. First of all, this woman is going through a divorce with this man. Now, you are sitting up on this show doing the very same thing. You were crying in that bathroom about you not wanting Dennis to do any of this. You didn't want you and Dennis to have some sort of spat or whatever, and then he go film with Drew, and they just badmouth you on the television. But that's what you doing right now. Asking questions that you don't, look, girl, that don't, their divorce, the intricate details of their divorce really ain't your concern unless we can know the intricate details of your divorce. Like we don't get to talk to you about yours. See, before Simon got deported, somebody should have definitely filmed the scene with him. I would straight away, with haste, I would have called Simon. Simon, I think that the people need to hear your side of things. You know, I've heard Portia's side. I want to hear your side, bro. What do you have to say? If I was Drew, hell yeah. What do you have to say, Drew? I mean, what do you have to say, Simon? We heard Portia's side. We want to get your side of things. What's going on, Simon? Give him a confessional and everything. Because that's what we doing. See, I don't understand why what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander. Why is that? Why is it that you can film with Ralph and ask about their divorce and whether or not she cheated on him and if he cheated on her? Just asking all these questions. And all Dennis and Drew was doing was making beats. Making music. But because what they was doing was definitely innocent, was definitely professional, you want to flip things and throw stuff out there to continue this lie that this woman was messing around with Dennis. So now you're going to throw out there, oh, well, I'm here to just show. I'm just here to tell him that nothing was going on between them. But there was this text message. Because she going to bring this text message that she continues to bring up that Dennis showed her, where it shows that she was ready and willing to give him some coochie for the beats. See, and we're just not buying that. I'm just not believing that. Then you bring, oh, she talked about my child. Girl, no, she didn't. And Shamia knew she added some stank on it. That's why she want to hop in like, well, I mean, she said it joking. No, because you know, when you report it back, you added something to it. Which is why this lady feel like she was talking about Pilar. When all she said was the royalties, the what we got coming down the pike, then it's going to be able, they going to be able to pay for Pilar's college. I don't know why Shamia heard what she heard. Because even in the moment, I was like, girl, there was nothing wrong with what she said. What? Why are you making this something? It's nothing. It's just simply what she said. This bag about to really set us up. What's wrong with that? It's because you added something to it. Now Portia out here looking crazy because she rolling with what you said, thinking that Drew was really out here just being reckless. And she wasn't. They asked who filed first. They asked him about who filed first, and he says that he filed first. We know that it was a lie. I feel like they both rushed down, but I think that she filed first because she's the petitioner. She's the petitioner. So yeah. He just lying. He just came to lie. He wanted to lie, I guess. This is what Ralph was on today. It was just, I'm gonna go film this scene. I'm just lie. Because then he lies about not cheating on Drew. Really? This was your moment to be honest, and you still lying. Still lying. But talking about she was cheating. She cheated on you with Ty, so you filed for divorce. That's not how that went. That's not how that went. That's not how that went at all. Anyway, I don't know how we get on Angela, but we start talking about Angela. And Shamia don't understand how Angela can forgive Portia for saying what she said, but not forgive her for laughing or whatever. And Portia, because in true Portia fashion, no accountability. None. Well, she's saying that you didn't hold yourself accountable for sitting, sitting in the conversation and, for you not removing yourself. Basically like, no, girl, hold yourself accountable. I'm not accountable for you. And then Shamia's whole thing is, well, I'm always accountable for you. This ain't adding up. Portia don't like when when it looked like Shamia is her lap dog or whatever. She wants her to be in that role, but don't shine the light on it. Don't say nothing about it. Just stay in your role. Do what it is that you do, which is be my lap dog, but don't be saying nothing about being my lap dog. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. I don't know what it is, but that girl needs intense therapy. She really does. There's a lot to unpack with Portia. There's a lot to unpack. Anyway, moving on. I'm tired of talking about them folks. This whole sit down was stupid and messy, unnecessary. Both of y'all look dumb. Shamia, you just continue to disappoint. You just continue. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. And you blew it. Anyway, Angela, she got 3 investment properties. And she done the price point way too high because people are not biting. The people do not want to pay $2 million. They don't want to pay $800,000. They don't want to pay the 1.5. They don't want to do it. Not over there where they were in the area that I'm assuming it's the area. It's definitely got to be the area. Because, people will pay the money if it's in a good place. If it's in a good place. It must not be worth it. But hey, get your money, okay? So one of them houses got to sell. One of them houses got to sell. I hope she sells them all, honestly. You know, get your money back because now she's $2 million in debt. So we got to, we got to get these properties sold. Kelly's going to drop by because Kelly's on the market. You know, she's looking to buy a new house. It's a little bit awkward. First of all, she walk around, talk shade about, oh, small closet. Oh, I don't really like this, the low ceilings, blah, 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 blah. Talking about low ceilings. Girl, you already low to the ground anyway. Every ceiling in your domain is going to be high because you short as fuck. What do you mean? You're short. That's you can't reach the ceiling. Shut up about the ceilings. Talking about, like they got to be real high ceilings for her because, she just needs so much space and all of that because she's just tall. Please. It's gonna look tall and big wherever you at. Okay. Anyway. They sit down and beat around the bush, but we got to get into Kelly's little outburst about an outside baby. Angela clears that up. She says that when it came to that Wendy Williams situation, Wendy kind of ran with it. She wasn't referring to Charles. She was referring to her first baby daddy, who had an outside baby on her. And so she wasn't talking about Charles. Now, I don't know. Who are I to say that that's not the truth? Because it was just really cleared up real fast. It was really cleared up. Like she cleared it up honestly before we found out about it. Because they film it and then we see it and all of that. But it's still like that's crazy because that came out and then she just decided I'm gonna let this come out. I'm gonna let this play out, and then y'all gonna see what the truth is. I'm gonna let y'all run with it while the show is on. Angela is. Girl, you the one. You the one, girl. You the one. You the one. Anyway. Oh, she also admits that Charles has been unfaithful in the past. Listen, just what funky I need to say? Spray. I'm gonna spray you with my own tea. Okay? Before you ever think you finna just embarrass me with what I did. No, I'm going to tell you what I did. And what about it? And what about it? So now y'all can't say nothing about her husband being unfaithful because she done said, yep, he was unfaithful. So now so what's next? So what else is going on? I told you, she the one. She the one. You the one. You the one, Angie. You the one. Can I call you Angie? Can I call you Ange? I'm going to call her Ange. It's my girl, Ange. Oh, no. My phone must be about to ring. Hold on. Hold your line. Okay, I'm back. So, moving on. Angela, they're talking about Shamia and how, hold on. Yeah, they talk about Shamia. My bad. I had to find my place in my note, child. It wasn't making sense. Anyway. She not feeling her last conversation, that there was no resolve. She shares that she and Shamia have had private conversations and, they've been about Portia and how she's feeling like the relationship is kind of lopsided. Angela, Drew, and Shamia went to dinner after Shamia's listening thing. And of course, Shamia was already upset because Portia has talked all the way through the song. She was being rude. She was being nasty. And so she was already upset. And so they went out and she kind of opened up a little bit. She shared that, she still has issues about Portia not attending her wedding. And ultimately, Shamia is afraid to have the conversation. I don't know that she's afraid. I think that Shamia has a very avoidant type of personality when it comes to conflict resolution. It's not easy. It's not easy navigating friendship in adulthood. And it is also, when it comes to somebody that you've been friends with for 10 plus, 20 plus years, it's, you would think that you could easily just go to your friend and say, friend, I don't like that, blah, 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 blah. But it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Coming from experience, it is not that easy. Mainly because, well, for me, I don't want to do any more damage. I also don't want to, and I feel like in Shamia's case, she doesn't want to ruffle Portia's feathers. She may know how Portia, I mean, she knows her. She knows her friend. And it could be a thing of, okay, I'm just going to, throughout the years, I've always just let it, I've always, because just to keep the conflict down. Because some people don't want to do that with their friends. They don't want to have to always be having a deep moment where we got to hash some shit out all the time. Because if it gets to that, then we don't even need to be friends, because we just disagreeing a lot. I'm not finna come to you every time you say something that's like, because it happens. It's happened to me. It's happened to me on plenty of occasions where I have just let some shit slide that a friend, very close, and I let it roll, because it's like, I don't want to do that with you. I don't do that with you. And so I don't want to do that with you. But you do need to speak up for yourself if it makes you uncomfortable, if it's going to be all this, especially if it's going to turn into resentment. It's going to turn to you now sitting up with, strangers basically, and you are pouring it out to them instead of telling your friend what it is. So you do have to put your big girl panties on and just be like, you know what? I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I don't like this. And as a friend, you should be able to hear me. And we should be able to, talk it out and work through it and move forward. But that can't happen if you're going to be avoidant, if you're going to say, I want to avoid conflict, as opposed to, because it's not really it doesn't have to be conflict. It's just, listen, I have an observation and I want to share my observation. I should take my own advice. I really should. I should take my own advice. Anyway, Angela feels like Shamia need to just talk to that girl, and she does. She's gonna give her the push. Kelly feel like she need to mind her business. Kelly, you mind your business, okay? You mind your business. Britt. Moving on. Britt and her husband was doing something. They was doing something, child. Anyway, Angela and Portia, they meet at Angela's rental property to play some tennis and chat and chew, because and she invited her to the rental property because she would absolutely not be inviting Portia to her home where her husband stays. Absolutely not. And she's smart not to do that, because the last girl that did that ended up out on her ass and Portia was in. So, no. And she done already said what she said. Yeah, no, you ain't never coming to my house, girl. Nope. Anyway, they play a little tennis, then they sit down and talk. Angela shares about her daughter, because the daughter that got married was there. And she does, say, here we go again, putting it out there before somebody feel like they gonna spray you with it. Her daughter did marry a woman. And I don't think that that's the issue. I don't think that that's her issue. I think that the girl really didn't tell her because maybe Angela would have been too much in their business, or, I don't know, because she said her mom's a helicopter mom and she really just wanted to make her own grown-up decision without having to hear the pros and cons and the let's really talk this through. She don't want to hear all that. I want to marry the girl. That's what it is. So I married her. I didn't want nobody trying to talk me out of it. So that's what it was. I'm sure, that was a lot to handle. I'm sure that was a tough pill to swallow as a mother, but they gonna get past it. They gonna get through it. Portia has a event coming up, Pampered by Portia. She really just invited these people out here to do a whole shoot to promote her sheets. But ain't nobody getting paid. But ain't nobody getting a check, okay? And Drew clocked it. And I understand, because first of all, you done fired me. You done canceled my contract. Now you want me to come sit up and take pictures for the sheets? Not doing it. Because I'm not an ambassador with you anymore, right? But she did it. You know, Drew. You know, Drew. She said, she said what she said, but she still went on and did it. Angela, because we talk about first of all, Portia tells Angela that she and Shamia met up with Ralph. And of course, she like, girl, y'all did what? And y'all talked about what? No. She wasn't here for that. She really wasn't here for them really sitting up with Ralph, And she said she gonna have to find out the truth, because not Booty for Beats. Booty for Beats was hilarious, Ange. That was hilarious. She brings up that text again that, hold on, get a text. Anyway, she brings up this text message that she said Dennis showed her that proved that Drew was trying to sleep with him for the beats or whatever. Angela don't want to hear that. She's like, girl, I don't want to hear that. Then she clears up what Drew really said in regards to Pilar's college fund. And she's like, no, wait a minute. Shamia ain't running back like that. No, I'm sure she didn't. Because now you all over here really going in, and Drew was not saying that at all. That's not what she was saying at all. Angela was like, I don't remember it that way. I don't remember all of that. All of that, it wasn't giving none of that. Angela asked about her wanting Shamia on the show and it being a lopsided relationship. So she basically starts to share with Portia what Shamia shared with them. And Angela is like, and I told Shamia she should talk to you. She's so crafty. Angela is so crafty. But she says that she's afraid. Portia, she gonna cover her face and start crying. Because again, she's the victim. How could you say that about me? Anyway, Drew, she meet with her life coach. She say that she and Ralph they've ceased communication since court. They've also been court ordered not to tell these kids about the divorce. I don't know how they're going to do that, but I guess she say the judge wants them to go forward with counseling first before, I guess, that'll have them equipped for the hard blow and it won't be that much of a hard blow because these kids know. The kids know more than you think. Moving on. Angela did tell Drew about Ralph, Shamia, and Portia meeting up. I don't know what Drew gonna do with that information, but she shares that with her life coach. It's hurtful. It's hurtful because he asked her, how's that making her feel or whatever. And she's hurt about that text message. She's hurt that Dennis would be out here painting any kind of picture other than a professional one between the two of them. So she has this conversation with her life coach. She really ain't giving the girls much. She's not. It is obvious that Drew is in real life going through a lot. And coming around the girls, is it even healthy for you? Is it even worth it? Because she's not showing up to work, really. She's not really showing up to work. And they're not making it easy on her. They're really not. I feel like she thought she was going to come in. Her storyline was going to be this music. But they were kind of like, you doing music with Dennis? And they kind of like, sucked the life out of it. And now we've spun it. And she's this baby daddy stealing whore. I just don't understand. And Drew just letting it all play out like that. Because her mind is clouded with Ralph's sorry ass. I'm just so tired of him. I really am. Anyway, y'all, Londi. Every time I see her, I just be like, oh, Londi. I really want to know what happened to her, because to really be here one day, gone the next is just crazy. It's just crazy. Anyway, the ladies, they getting ready. You know, everybody headed to Portia's event. You know, everybody got to wear their lingerie. I really liked Drew's outfit. I liked her little half up, half down with the little. She looked so cute. It was really cute. You know, some of them were. It was a lot. It was definitely 304, more like 304 than you know, sexy grown woman lingerie. You know, you can be sexy and tasteful. Some folks be flat. It just be too much. And Brit, girl, because for one, it's just like y'all gonna be on TV. Anyway, Kelly and Shamia, they talk alone. She tells her, you know, about the whole lapdog situation. And Kelly says, you know, well, in context, I can understand why she would kind of say that, you know, because of how the conversation was going. And then she spills a little bit more about Angela and Portia's conversation. And she said, so basically, in conclusion, you up Portia's ass. That's what the people are saying. You up Portia's ass. And we got to go and do a whole little meditation exercise. And everybody is, you know, participating. And Shamia she the only one still sitting up just looking cheap. Just looking cheap. Kelly doing too much. Doing way too much. She gets her ass up. Trots it over there to Shamia and gonna sit down, because it's like I don't understand that I gotta have every moment, every time the camera's moment is rolling, I have to make sure that I have a moment so that you know, my moment makes the show. Cause why, girl, sit down. How sit down? Anyway, she go over there to Shamia because she got to talk to her, got to see what's going on, got to see. And while they talking, Portia's sitting up shushing them because this is a moment. We're supposed to be meditating. Thank you. Shamia say there's no peace, there's no meditating. She's upset. Lauren opens up the floor. You know, we're going to have a sister circle moment. You know, Angela opens up the discussion. She addresses Portia. She's happy that they're moving in a positive direction. Kelly brings up Shamia and Portia's relationship. See, again, we want to say it's Angela, but Angela ain't the one that brought it up right now. Kelly is the one that wants to spearhead this conversation between Shamia and Portia. And honestly, Shamia, you brought all this on yourself because you was sitting around there talking to them people about Portia and how you feel about her instead of just talking to Portia about how you feel about her. So there's that. You gave them a reason to insert themselves. That was you. So don't be mad. Don't be saying, I would never let my friends talk about. Because you was just sitting over there saying, well, Portia this and Portia that, and I don't like that she did that. But the way she said, what she said on, was that the after show or Watch What Happens Live? Well, she was on something and she kind of explained how those conversations happen, how they come about. You know, people come up to her or people just ask her, just like, so how you feel about her not coming to your wedding? They bait her, basically. They bait her into talking about Portia. Now that I can believe. I can believe that. But however, why you getting baited? You supposed to know how to just block all that. You ain't supposed to fall for the bait, okay? You're supposed to say, no, Portia and I have moved past that. You know, we talked about that, you know, that I've been married for however long she's been married. You know, like she could have definitely got them folk up off of her. But you do feel away and you haven't expressed it to her, which is why it's lingering. So when you do get a moment to kind of express it a little bit, you kind of go overboard, you kind of overshare, and then it's too much. You should have directed it all at the at the person, you know, that you need to talk to, which is Portia. Anyway, we talk about that situation, you know, and Portia, of course, she's the victim, so she gonna sit back and, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. I know, girl. Yeah, you are. Actually, yes. Absolutely, yes. I don't know what's gotten into you, my girl, but anyway. And did y'all hear Britt? When Shamia was expressing herself just a tad, because she got to get her she got to get the camera on her too. She's gonna get it out, Shamia. Shut up, girl. Please, not now, not now. Not now. Portia gonna say she ain't go to the wedding because they was beefing. Shamia like, we was beefing. You said something about a leg problem. You said you couldn't sit and coach for that long. And I would have bought you another ticket since it was about coach. Portia say I came to your traditional one here. I didn't go to the one in Kenya. I came to the one that was here. You should have been at both of them. You should have been at both of them, honestly. You should have been at both of them, but, you know, hey. Hey. She lied. She just straight up lied about that. She lied to us. She lied to Shamia. And then just really tripped herself up in her own lie. Talking about, so we was beefing at the time. It's like, whoa. You said something about your legs. So we was beefing? That makes it worse, girl. Now you ain't come because we was beefing. It was a one-sided beef. What did I do? She don't remember. And you know Cynthia, she got to play devil's advocate. I just don't like when the group tears apart friendships. I just don't like that. No, what happens is when you get amongst a group setting, the light is a little bit more bright on flawed behavior when it comes to groupthink. Now it's more than one person, more than one lens on y'all's bullshit, friendship, relationship, whatever. now more than one person can see. We can see things for what it is, and some people vocalize that. You know, of course, within a group of friends, of course, they're gonna talk about that. It's gonna come up in conversation because people are noticing the bullshit, and so you have to expect that. And I feel like that was Portia's worry. You know, with, you know, because I know she did not expect for the mask to come down like this, and we were all just gonna be like, wait a minute, who are you? Who is this girl? Anyway, that's really it. I feel like that's like a to be continued. We're probably gonna pick up right back here in this place. I don't know, who knows, but until next time. So we had ran out of footage. I mean, we had ran out of storage, but I had to come back and say, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.